You're listening to iFan Sports Talk Radio. And now, live from Studio 215 in Low Country, South Carolina. Welcome to the Live in 5 show with your host, Nikki Fu.
Welcome everybody, this is your host Nikki Fu. We are almost 1 month into the World Cup in Russia. We are down to 3 teams, and what a match it was today between France and Belgium off of Umeti's header in second half, putting his country into the World Cup final. France looks like clearly the favorite, the youngest team in the tournament. Looking to get their second World Cup title in the last 20 years. What an accomplishment it will be if France wins the World Cup. But today we are going to talk about the upcoming semifinal match between England and Croatia at 2 p.m. today. And the underdog Croatia been playing a lot of extra time, going into shootouts. They have to be tired. England, a little luck on their side as they got this far. Both countries ecstatic. I'm excited for this game, and I will tell you at the end of this podcast who I'm predicting to meet up with France in the final in Moscow this Sunday. So just to recap how these teams got here, Croatia won Group D, winning all 3 of their games, beating Nigeria 2-0, Argentina 3-0, and Iceland 2-1. England finished this second in Group G behind Belgium, and they beat Tunisia 2-1, Panama 6-1, and they lost to Belgium 1-0. Croatia going 3-0 in their group play. When they got into the knockout round, they beat Denmark in the round of 16, and then that thrilling quarterfinal game against Russia in the shootout, they got the host nation. England, after going 2-0-1 in group play, they took care of Colombia and a very talented Sweden team too. England hasn't played in the semifinals of a major tournament since in 22 years. And of course, the winner of today's game will advance against France. I think a lot of people out there are looking for a France-England final, and what a final that will be. I'm not knocking Croatia, but even Croatia will be a nice matchup against France. But I think the majority of soccer fans out there want that England-France matchup. So, like I said, the winner will advance to the finals against France in Moscow this Sunday. And England, an average age of 26. They're one of the youngest teams in the World Cup. And the second youngest team in the World Cup, surprisingly, is France. Croatia has only made its only semifinal appearance in the World Cup in 1998, losing to France 2-1. Keys for England, I would say, going into this game is their midfield defense and dominate the wings, stretch the defense, and allow Kane to find some space out there. I think that's one key advantage England needs to look at. And also, I would say, take advantage of Croatia as they played a lot of soccer in this past 2 weeks in extra time. Their last 2 matches went into extra time and into shootouts, so they clearly have to be tired. And I think England needs to take advantage of that. England has to start well, and they have to play fast. If they do these 2 things, I think it's going to be a huge problem for Croatia. The keys for Croatia, I would have to say, is they need to start. They need to play in that 4-1-4-1 formation. Brozovic impressed me very much in the quarterfinals against Russia, and he lends a much needed solidity to the Croatian defense that could be useful in containing the speed of Raheem Sterling. So they should play him in the defensive midfield, play a 4-1-4-1 formation, like I said, and attack the midfielders. Also, they need to win the midfield battles. They can't afford to allow England to dictate the terms in the midfield, and they would have to control the tempo of the game. They cannot let England, control this tempo. And those are my keys. So, my prediction is I think this will be a tight match. Two relatively even match teams. If this was an opening group match, and I think not a knockout game, I would probably maybe lean a little bit more toward Croatia, but I can't see them knocking out England this far in. I'm picking England to win this game 2-1, so I would take the over. If you're betting, take the over in 2. And I would take England on the plus 123 on the money line. So that's my prediction. Let's all look forward to a great game today. This is your host, Nicky Fu. This is iFan Sports Talk Radio, episode 28 in the Live in 5 show. I thank you for all tuning in. If you have any thoughts, please message me on Twitter at iFanTalk. That's where I usually look at all my messages from my listeners, and I will respond to you, whether it's Twitter or my next podcast. You can find our podcast on the iTunes Store, iHeartRadio, our Facebook page by just typing in hashtag iFanTalk. Please like and subscribe, and also we have our YouTube channel where all of our podcasts and our videos are, and you can listen to all of our podcasts since we started back. This is our 28th episode of the Live in 5 show. I want to thank you all for joining me today, and I will see you folks down the road.